Hello guys, and welcome to the second part of this HTML5 tutorial. We already talked about basic HTML and adding text, and this video will be about formatting text. So let's get right into it. So after organizing everything, it will look something like this. And let's just continue and start with our third chapter called Formatting Text. Let's start in, for example, for bold text. Let's open the paragraph, and here we are. Well, there are two ways for making text look bold, and that is with a strong tag and with the B tag. They do exactly the same thing. If I show you strong and bold, if I now refresh, you'll see that strong and bold look exactly the same, but for the search engine or for the browser, they really aren't the same. For example, strong text will be seen as important text by the search engine or the browser, but the bold text with the B tag won't. So imagine here I have some text saying, for example, now in the strong tag, the difference between strong text and bold text, and after the strong tag closes is, and now I will just describe this difference. That is what I'm telling you about. For a search engine or a browser, if this text is red and it is between the strong text, they will truly see it as important. But if they are, and they will assume that you have the definition of the difference between strong text and bold text. But if you have in the B tag for bold, this will look exactly the same, but will just be seen as normal text for the browser or for a search engine. After the bold, we have italics. Let's add a title for that, italics, and update this, and here we are, italics. There are really a lot and a whole lots of ways to do this, but there is one that is a general way, and let's, for example, put for the general italics use the I tag. And now let's use the I tag. Let's surround this text with the I tag, and you will see that this looks like this is italics. But using the I tag, it doesn't give any special meaning to the italics. To give special meaning, you need to use some other tags, and that is, for example, let's take Hamlet and write a sentence from that book that is to be or not to be. That is the question. For example, this isn't ours. This is from a book that wasn't written by us. So when you want to cite a title of a book, of a work, you can put from, and now use the tag, as I said, cite and here you can write omelet. And now you will see here that because this omelet isn't in the I tag, that's for general italics, it is in the site tag. When the browser or the search engine is going through your page, it will know that your web page cites omelet. Now let's continue and go here, and to emphasize text, you can, instead of using the I tag, use the EM tag. So let's say use the EM tag to describe emphasized text. And now here you can put EM and surround this text by this tag, and now you'll see that this text is now emphasized. After that, we also have the DFN tag. For example, I'm always talking about SEO, but I never really said what it meant for in the web page. So I can use the DFN tag, and this stands for definition. And inside this, you can put SEO, and then stands for search engine optimization. And that's exactly what the DFN tag does. When the browser or the search engine is going through your document, if it sees that SEO is inside the DFN tag for definition, it will assume that after the DFN tag you will have the definition of what is inside the DFN tag. So continuing, we have the address tag. This is the final method of italics in an HTML document, and the address tag can be used outside a p tag, and it looks like this. The address is meant to write an address or authorship to a document. For example, this will be written by EM developer for his subscribers. After that, I can say visit my website at diogomoreira.me, and after that tell where I'm writing from, and that's Portugal. And now I've added authorship to the document and my address saying that it is on Portugal. Now if we refresh it, we will have the SEO, standing for search engine optimization, and we will have our address. But for this, as you see, it isn't maintaining our line breaks, so we also will have to write the BR tags to break the lines, and now it is really like we want it to look. Passing on to the other way of formatting text, and that is line text. Line text, this is mainly used to identify edited text. For example, let's write here a paragraph and say, I want to learn HTML5, and refresh it. Here in line, you have, I want to learn HTML5. Well, this sentence used to be true when you weren't watching this video because you wanted to learn HTML5, but now it's a fact because you are learning HTML5, so you don't want to learn, but you are learning. So in a document, if you want to line the old text and now insert the new text, the one that is correct, you can come here and use the del tag that stands for delete, and here put I want to learn HTML5, and you'll see that I want to learn is deleted. Now to insert, you can use the int tag and the ins tag, and that stands for insert, and here you can put I am learning HTML5. Let's just add a space here, and now you can see that I want to learn is lined because it's incorrect, and I am learning is what was inserted and is correct. But imagine you don't want to make just a portion of the sentence go away. You want to make the whole sentence go away. Well, we can use another sentence. Let's say I am not on YouTube, and now, as you can see, because we are in YouTube, I am on YouTube. So let's put the correct phrase here, that is I am on YouTube, and if we refresh, they both will appear. So what we want to use to say that this first sentence is no longer correct is the S tag. This S tag really means text that is unvalidated. So here, let's just surround this by the tag, the S tag, and here, if we refresh it, it is no longer correct. Well, let's keep on going, and now start with subscript and superscript text. And well, the subscript is used mainly for chemical formulas. For example, if you want to, in the paragraph, to say water, and right after this add H2O, that is a chemical formula, you can add H2O, and if you refresh it, you'll see that it isn't supposed to be like this. I'm sorry, there's a 4 here. It isn't supposed to be like this. The 2 should be a little bit under the line. To have this effect, you can use the sub tag, and here copy the 2, put the 2 inside the subtext, and now if you refresh it, there you go, there is the water chemical formula. You can now use the superscript, and the superscript is the same, but it puts the text a little bit above the line. So, for example, you want to say that 1 megabyte has 2 powered to 10 bytes. If you refresh it, you have the same problem. This 10 should be above the line. To reach this effect, you can just use the tag sup, surround it to the number 10. If you refresh it, now you have the 1 megabyte as 2 powered to 10 bytes. Now there are a lot of ways to present information. Mainly we are doing it through text, but there is also the option of doing it by bars. So, for example, imagine you are taking a questionnaire and you want to put under the questions a progress bar to tell the user, the one that is answering the questions, that is answering the questionnaire, to tell him how much progress did he already add in that questionnaire. So you can use the tag progress like this, and inside add some attributes to it. For example, you can do it by value, and in value you can put for example 25, and add a max attribute, and inside that you can put that is like 25 out of 100, and now if I reload it, you'll see that this bar is 25% full with this blue color. Well, you can do this for any percentage you want. You can here put 50 and here 75, and if you now reload it, here you have everything. This is one way of doing it, but there is also another tag called meter, like this. And this meter tag is used to define a scalar measurement within a known range or a fractional value. So, for example, here you can give it an attribute called value again, put maybe a 2, then add a min attribute that can be 0, a max attribute that can be whatever number you want. I'll choose 10. And now if I refresh it, I'm saying, for example, that 2 out of 10 people answered this questionnaire to 25% of it, you see? So yeah, that's it. You can also do this another way. Instead of using the attributes max and min, just use value, and here give it a percentage. For example, 0.7 for 70%, and here you have a bar that is 70% full with this green color. So these tags now are going to simulate a program. So let's put simulate program. You can add here a paragraph, and after that you can start by the KBD tag, and this KBD tag will give the idea of a keyboard input. So let's put here keyboard input. After that, let's add a BR tag, and you can use the code tag. This code tag will give will tell that this is code that was written in the HTML page. And for example, here let's put some Java code, system.out.print, and let's say n was the keyboard input, so let's say here 10. And now add another break line, and here you can add the tag samp. The tag samp serves to define a sample output from a computer program. So this computer program, that is simply a system out, will print the keyboard input it had. So the keyboard input was 10, the code is system out print n. So here we can put the output will be 10. Now, if we reload the page, there it is, the keyboard input, the code, and the output of the code. So let's keep on going, and now we have the subchapter for quotes. Of course, this is used when you quote someone or some work of some people or whatever, and here you can put a tag p, and you can again use the to be or not to be from Hamlet. And now, instead of being ourselves to put the quotes here, let's put instead of the quotes a Q tag, like this. This Q tag is standing, of course, for quote. And now, if we surround the piece of text we took from that piece and reload it, we now have quotes with that can't be selected. And now the browser and the search engine will know that you are quoting this part of the text. But imagine that instead of quoting just a sentence, you wanted to quote a whole poem or a whole page or even an whole study. For that, you don't need to open the P tag for paragraph. You can open the block quotes. Inside the block quotes, add a attribute called cite, and this will cite again Hamlet. I'll now just grab a piece of this work of Hamlet, and I'll put it inside here already with the BR tags. And now, if I reload, you will see that this part of the Hamlet is a bit to the front, meaning that it is quoting some text from someplace else. Now, to end this chapter of formatting text, we will have another section, and this section will be called Others, because these don't really have a pattern. They are just useful in their own ways, but you can't fit them all in a chapter. So let's start with abbreviations. For example, again, I'm always telling you SEO or SE for search engine optimization and for search engine, but now let's give it a better way for the user to see this. And here in the title I can say search engine optimization, and here we can add SEO and do the same thing for search engine, and here SE, and delete this. Now if I reload it, you will see that they are underlined with some dots, and if I leave my mouse above it, there it is, search engine optimization and SE. The ABBR tag really stands for abbreviation, and it's very useful when first talking about SEO, for example, or first using an abbreviation. After that, we have the small tag. This is really isn't used anymore, because you can achieve richer effects with using using CSS, but we will learn CSS later. So now let's stand with this. For example, in the footer of your website, you want to put my website.com, and after that you want to say copyright 2019. That is the year we are at. So here you can open the tag small, right, copyright, add here, and now you will have this nice effect of mywebsite.com written in the normal font with a normal size, and then having copyright 2019 with a bit smaller font. After that, for example, in a huge text, you want to mark something that really is important, and imagine you are in a lot of text, and then you say, but learning HTML is very important, and you want to make the reader, the visitor of your website, really notice this. You can use the mark tag, like this, and surround the text you want to be marked, for example, this, and now it will truly be marked, like this. After this, you can use a very nice tag that doesn't need to be inside the paragraph, and it's called pre. You use this when you want to preserve the enters and the extra spaces you give on your text. So, for example, let's say preserve my spaces and my line breaks. Now, with the p tag, as we already mentioned, you should expect it to stay condensed and everything in the same line separated by a simple space. But using this tag, you will see that everything is preserved. The only thing that changes is the font. As you see, it's like the font from the keyboard input and simulating a program. But you can always change this with CSS, and we will learn how to do that later. But very nice tag, and really useful sometimes. So for this chapter, the last but not least is the video tag. This should be inside a paragraph, and this is really rarely used, but it can come handy to you. So BDO stands for bidirectional override, and inside the dir attributes you can here put how you want to change the direction of the text. For example, if I put the normal direction, that will be left to right, nothing will happen. So, for example, here I write HTML is good, and I can reload it, and everything is normal. But if I come here and put right to left, and now if I reload it, you will see that not only the words, but letter by letter, this is reversed. As I said, it isn't normally used, but it can come handy for you, and it still is a tag that hasn't been deprecated, and yes, it's good for you to learn. So, sorry that this video was so long, but I didn't manage to make it any shorter. But, well, that's it for the second part of our HTML tutorial. We now know how to format text. And I'll see you in the next video, in the third video, about comments and semantics in HTML5. So don't forget to like and subscribe if this video helped you in any way. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.